Hi guys, glory to Jesus Christ. I know it's been forever and a day since I've posted a video, and I've actually made 9 or 10 of them, but in true me fashion, by the time I remember to actually try to throw them up on YouTube, I forget what they're about. So this is my kind of attempt to reboot this whole thing, because I'd gotten into a really good pattern where I was posting out a video almost every day, and I'd like to get back into that, but there's been several reasons why that hasn't happened lately. First and foremost is the fact that we are actually moving. We're in the midst of moving. It's Christmas Day right now, so Christ is born, glorify him, and we got the key to the new house yesterday, and we actually haven't closed on it yet. We're closing on New Year's Eve, if you can believe that. So because we're moving over, like, between Christmas and New Year's, we're doing almost all of it ourselves. Because you don't want to pay movers overtime for a 2D move. It's not a good financial plan. So I am up to my ears in boxes. You probably can't see too far behind me here, but almost everything that we own right now is in boxes. It's crazy. The other crazy thing is it's 70 degrees outside in Philadelphia on Christmas Day. It's bizarre. No idea what's going on with that, but I kind of wish it was snowy. You know, I would like to have a white Christmas again occasionally. I grew up in Buffalo, so, in Buffalo, they don't even close the schools unless there's like 4 feet of snow on the ground. So we had a white Christmas almost every year, and since I've been down here, I miss it a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. So I guess the other big news, if you can call it big news, is, well, now yesterday, Christmas Eve, we had the Christmas Eve Mass at the prison. And it's the one time of the year when they bring in the male and female inmates to the same service. Normally they try to keep them as far apart as possible, but for this one service, they're both together. And so it's always an interesting kind of logistical thing, because they're trying to give everybody the chance to worship together without it kind of devolving into a high school cafeteria setting, because that can happen very, very quickly when there's this atmosphere of just like so much resentment of control and of conventions and of rules, that if there's a chance to break a rule, a lot of them will jump at that opportunity. So it's kind of interesting for me to see how they do it. First they bring in the men, and the men sit in the front, and then they bring in the women, and there's far fewer women than men. And so what they do is they have the women sit behind the men so that the men can't see them without turning around, and if they turn around, the guards are going to see it and come in and take them out. And as soon as the women are in the room, I start playing the opening hymn on the little electric piano in the back. And that's, again, to minimize the time for, chatter to develop. So we had about, probably 75 people total at that service. And by the way, if you're Orthodox, you're probably wondering, what the heck am I doing playing the piano in church? Because in the Orthodox Church, for those of you who aren't Orthodox, we don't have any instruments. It's all a cappella singing. That's because this is actually a Roman Catholic Mass. So I get the opportunity to play some of my favorite Christmas carols, which is nice and nostalgic for me since I grew up, in a tradition that had those carols and that had the, piano and organ music. So it's nice. I also ran into somebody, kind of a frequent flyer at the prison, who has been in and out of various jails for quite a few years, and he's one of these people who, he has a ton of good qualities, and I really like him a lot, but he has a heroin addiction, and the heroin addiction, has really caused him to make some bad decisions. And fortunately, he has a lot of family support, so I'm just hoping and praying that when he gets out this time, which should be any day now, that he'll be able to, rely on that support to make better choices in the future. Because what really got him into trouble, and this is so sad to watch this happen kind of from the outside, was, he has a mental illness, but he's medicated for it, and he accepts the fact and acknowledges the fact that he has a mental illness, which is really good that he acknowledges that. But unfortunately, one of the things he struggles with is depression, and so he had a suicide attempt that involved causing a head-on collision on the highway. And so that's where a lot of his incarceration has come from, has been related to that. So I was thrilled to see him. Sorry he was back in jail, but I was glad to see him, and we got to catch up briefly before the Mass started, and hopefully any day now he'll be out, and if I can help keep him out of jail in the future, I'm hoping to have the chance to do that, you know. And you have to remember that there are so many people like that in our prison system. So many people. They're not evil. They've got problems. Just like you and I got problems. But sometimes people make bad choices in the face of those problems, and so there's consequences for those choices. And it's not our job to judge them. It's just our job to love them and try to be a positive light in their life in whatever small way we can. So if you're motivated to do so, please, especially on Christmas, please pray for these inmates and for their families, because it's incredibly difficult to be incarcerated over the holidays, especially, you know, a lot of these inmates have children. And really, somebody said something tonight that really hit home. During the intercessory prayers, the inmates have a chance to kind of make prayer requests. And so one of them was, you know, he said, like, I'd like to pray for all of our families who are serving our sentences with us, who are doing our time with us. And that is so true. No matter what somebody has done or is accused of doing, their family is also going through hell. So we really need to pray for them sincerely and often and vigorously. And I just remind them, and it's good for you and I to remember too, that as difficult as it is to be behind bars over the holidays, the first cathedral was a cave in Bethlehem, filled with animals. Animal poop. Probably didn't smell very nice. But that's where Christ was born. And a lot of times when I go into the prison, I really feel that a lot of these people are far closer to Christ in that prison than they are in the outside world, because it's so easy to get distracted outside. And so no matter what their circumstances, no matter what my circumstances are, we have to remember that God is present. And not in some fruity, new age, relativist way, but he's concretely there. And sometimes his voice is heard loudest when there are fewer other voices to kind of try to drown it out. So, anyway, I feel like I've been talking too much, so I need to get to bed because it's almost 2 a.m. And we have to do the whole family Christmas thing tomorrow. So, God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for saying subscribe through my absence. I'm going to do my darndest, even as we are moving in this coming week, to start turning out some more videos. So, in the meantime, God bless you again. Please pray for me. I'll pray for you. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.